Hello there. Welcome to a Moment with a Mega Agent. We're so excited that you're joining us today. I have the privilege and honor to be sitting with one of our top producing agents, Gloria Steele. So thank you so much for planning to spend some time.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Me too. So I just want to feature a few things about you since we've known each other. You've consistently been in the top 20% here in the Market Center. You are also on our Associate Leadership Council as a top producer in the Market Center. You are chairing the Social and the Culture Committee. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then I'm going to talk about your fabulous numbers year over year and where you get your business from.
Okay.
So why don't we start with a little bit about you. So you're married, you have children, grandchildren. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Okay, married, wonderful husband named John, probably my better half for sure, and calmer half for sure, definitely. And we have 4 children, and we have our little grandbaby. Technically, I say I have 3 grandbabies because my niece has 2 twins, and they're like my babies too. So, and some fur animals and stuff.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you're a great grandma, Nana.
I'm a Gigi.
A Gigi.
Yeah,
I
a
love
Gigi.
that. Yeah. And I you get to spend a lot of time with them, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the purpose.
It
right?
lives 12 minutes from me. Yes.
Purpose of having a business, right?
Yes.
Got a family business. So tell us, how long have you been licensed?
A little over 21 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you.
And were you always with Keller Williams? Talk to us about your journey.
I did not start out with Keller Williams, and I don't know that Keller Williams was that big here when I first started. And I started with Coldwell Banker. I stayed there for about 5 years, and I don't know what the word is. I spoke to a couple people from Keller Williams and realized they had more to offer me. And I loved my office. It was hard, you build relationships, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it was a big step for me to make what I consider an educated decision to leave where I was comfortable and what I liked to go somewhere where I knew I would learn more and grow more. So after 5 years, almost to the day, I moved to Keller Williams, and that was back in 2007.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's been quite some time that you've been with us. I know you're instrumental too in, helping agents here teach classes and also, talk to other agents that maybe you're doing co-op deals with and or folks that may need the same resources that were offered to you at one time,
Yes.
right? With education and training, coaching, consulting, right? All the wonderful things.
I think that was a big thing for me is that I've always said if I had started with Keller Williams, I think my business would be at a whole different level where what I learned and the training and what's offered to me, I feel is so much bigger than what I got when I was at Coldwell Banker.
Thank you for saying that. I hear that a lot with our top producers, the value proposition and what they receive in partnership with Keller Williams. One of the things that I do admire and respect about you is your commitment to continuing to grow your business and focus on particular areas of lead generation, let's say. I know that you're committed to Family Reunion Mega Camp, the South Florida Mastermind. So talk to us about why you enjoy spending time at those events.
Okay, for me, I think it's the learning, what I'm going to learn when I'm there. They always have top agents that are going to talk to us and who are basically feed into us and give us their information. They're just wonderful agents, huge agents. It's kind of sometimes a little overwhelming, but that's a big aspect so I can learn more. But the relationships I've built going to these events and building friendships, agent to agent relationships, I think that's been, the best aspect of going, where I get to spend time with agents all over the United States that I build in relationship with. So I feel like when my clients, it gives me an opportunity to be a better resource for them when they're moving. I just had a client I was able to refer to someone in Maryland that they were my clients here, and she's like, she trusts me. She goes, Gloria, who do you know?
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to not have to go in the white pages to find an agent for her. It's actually able to give her somebody that I know, and I know how they do business. And literally, we just closed. It was very exciting. We closed last week, and it's nice having that resource for my clients.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I hear that a lot, and I know that's so important and I know that in particular you've built your business based on those relationships with other agents. Also through some, and we'll get into this next, your focus in your areas of business. I know that you work your sphere of influence. I know that you have some BNIs that I'm going to want you to share here in a minute. Let's talk about the event last week. You came to Fort Lauderdale for the South Florida Mastermind, and it was just an action-packed, value-packed opportunity, right, to learn and grow. So share a little bit about why you went and what you gained from that.
I went, one, because I knew it was going to be phenomenal information. I love the panel aspect, the way they do it, where it's that particular topic, and then these 3 or 4 agents tell you how they succeeded in those areas and give you input that you can apply to your business. I also get to hang out with the agents from the office, build that relationship in our office a little bit more. And then I think the biggest thing for me is, again, meeting other agents in areas that maybe somebody I know might want to move there. And I have an agent that I've built a relationship with down there. I have a couple very good referral partners that are down in that area, and I really like to connect with them when I can.
Yeah, we get to spend some time with one of those folks from Miami, and that was lovely too.
Jose.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it is about enjoying and having fun, but really it's truly about how it can impact your business in maybe many ways that people don't even think of, right?
I think all of it's a resource, and I always look at it as how can I help my clients further more, every year.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing a lot is how gracious the panelists were. They, in spending time at the VIP event the day before, the evening before, and then also, at that event, just taking time to pour into our agents in addition to what they delivered on the stage.
Absolutely. I think it's something that a little unique to our office, and I don't know what everybody else does in the different regions, but Nikki really, I feel, brings a lot to us as agents, and I think that's really important to me, having a broker who wants to give back and as you said, pour back into the agents.
Yeah, and I love that you said that. We our curriculum is amazing. Our education, our training, our foundational pieces are absolutely phenomenal, and we're always wanting to do better, to bring more value for the market of the moment in particular. And I think that event was really about that, right? And helping us to focus on continuing to grow our business. And talking about business, congratulations when I just pulled your numbers for year over year. We'll have our consultation next week. I get to spend more time with you, but you have 7.2 million in for a rolling or a trailing 12 months. So congratulations, that's phenomenal. And you've closed 16 units so far. And I know that's a snapshot of August of 22 through August of 2023. And I know that every time we get together, you have your P&L, your profit and loss, and your numbers, and we talk about the areas of focus. So let's talk about your business. Okay. This year, you shared with me at the beginning that you were going to focus on BNI. And you were going to focus on more referrals at events and really working your sphere of influence.
Yes.
So which one do you want to talk about first? What's your number one source of business?
My number one source of business would probably be my sphere.
Okay.
But growing really fast, and maybe even at this point might be surpassing it, is business from my business networking group.
Okay.
And it used to be a group here in Tampa, and I built relationships with other business owners, and we share referrals with each other. And same thing for them, that we like having those connections where if I'm going to refer an AC company to my clients, I personally know this AC company, I know how they do business, and there are different businesses that I know that I build those relationships with. But over the past few years, I've really worked on and got involved in building the national side of that, where I know agents all over, where I have a great agent, Brad Seaman over in San Diego that I can refer, and I know he's a top-notch agent, and my clients, if they need an agent out there, or if an agent here needs someone out there, I know I've built that great relationship. So I love, BNI has expanded greatly for me. And so we have the national group, and Jose Fernandez has grown a group down in the Miami area. So we're now getting to know all the Florida BNI agents, because Floridians don't like to leave Florida. So we have a tendency to move around in Florida. So it's great to know all the other agents in Florida, because if I have a client moving to Jacksonville, I can refer someone, and I've got a great agent up there. So I love what I see happening with BNI and what we're doing, and the groups we're growing out nationwide and in the state of Florida.
And I'll tell you, I've seen the results this year of your focus and efforts, and I know that you were very intentional with Family Reunion and Mega Camp and all the opportunities. I did mention that you're also a member of Keller Williams Luxury. And so I know that you take advantage of that opportunity when you can, to go to the luxury symposium that's happening in October, and or luxury mastermind, and bringing value to your clients. I know you really focus on, you had shared with me, concierge service, and I think that really matters in today's environment.
I think nowadays you have to distinguish yourself differently to excel in real estate. Mm-hmm. It is about the relationship you build. Years ago, when I first started, I was told by Barb McGinnis, she was my mentor when I first started, that I said, if you could do anything, she had been in the business, I think, 20 years. And I said, if you could do anything differently, what would you do? She goes, I would have stayed in better contact with my clients and built those relationships better. Mm-hmm. So even though I probably didn't do it in the beginning, it's always been in the back of my head that you have to take good care of your clients. You have to stay in contact with them, and you have to be a resource, not just for that closing, but for their real estate needs, their house needs. I love it, the fact my client will go, hey, we want to redo our floors. Who do you recommend?
Yeah.
So to me, I think that was a big one for me.
You've built that trust, and obviously have provided great value. So they'll continue to ask you questions and refer you business, right?
Yes.
I just want to, dote on you a little bit and just kind of put you in the spotlight. I really admire the fact that you are dedicated to calling folks in your sphere of influence. You had some great ideas about bringing them some value recently. And you come in for our Do the Database too, where we're focusing on those 2 letters, and you pour into others. You have such a big heart. You're here in the town center and script practicing, showing up in script practicing.
Not just there for the donuts.
Not just there for the donuts. No donuts.
No donuts.
And you're always, wanting to help others to succeed and grow. Mm-hmm. And so, you have such a big heart, and I just want to thank you for that. And I love that you have an office here, and you actually come in and you work, and then you let me know, calling my database, I have 5 more calls to make or 3 more calls to make. What are you seeing? Are there any results from your efforts of digging into your database and really hyper-focusing on that specifically this year?
I think the big thing for me is letting them know I'm still here. Letting them know I'm here for questions and things they need, and letting them know information that I feel is real beneficial, like all the insurance things that are going on right now, and people's rates are being increased and they're being dropped, and it's important for me to let my clients know and understand that there are some really good options if you're running into those brick walls and having insurance issues. I have great resources for you. So, and not everybody thinks to call your realtor because you have insurance questions. So I want them to understand that I'm there for them. And when I reach out to my clients, it's because I have something I think that they'll benefit from and that I can share with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you get excited about your results.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I like to hear about all the referrals that you receive every time you call your database. So before we wrap for today, is there any, any piece of advice that you'd like to share with anyone who's tuning in to this moment with a mega agent about the business? I know there's been a lot of questions and concerns around interest rates, and here we have a shortage of inventory and still a really good demand, right?
We do, and I think I actually just reached out to one of my lenders and I asked him to make a flyer for me, and I said, well, basically give me the information, and I said if I need to make the flyer I will, but I wanted to know the difference of if I buy a house today at today's interest rate, or if I buy a house next year at a lowered interest rate, what's the difference going to be? And I think people would be shocked if, and I'll put it out there, while he's working on it right now, that when he sent me just the numbers to look at, there was very little difference. That house went up and the rates went down, but the payment is almost identical. So I think helping everybody understand that 6 to 7% is the average for probably since, average since the 70s.
For a while.
That is the average. So buying in now before prices go up more, because I hate to say it, Florida's at this point, we're not slowing down as far as increasing in equity. So I think helping everybody understand that it's still a great time to buy and it's still a great time to sell, and if you're using good resources and a good agent, that it's still a good time to buy and they can walk you through it and make sure it's a successful transaction and that you'll be happy. But I mean, I'm a realtor and I literally bought recently 6 months ago, and at a higher interest rate. And but to me, I know that when the rates go down, I can refinance. So it's definitely, but this house would be a lot more by the time, if I had waited 2 or 3 years.
Right, because we continue to see our homes appreciate, gain value, almost on a monthly basis in some areas, right?
We're very lucky. I think our market is very strong, and we're continuing seeing everything increase. So I think that would be my advice to anybody who's thinking about it, that don't be afraid of the market right now, because it's a good market.
Right.
Still a good time.
Gary Keller says every market's a good market. It's always a good time to buy a house. Yes. Before I close, I just want to just mention a couple of things or just reiterate a couple of things that you had said. First, you really focus on your sphere of influence. Second, you looked for other lanes or opportunities in planning your business for the year with your BNI network and then referral opportunities. Not just the education piece of from the events, it's building relationships with other Keller Williams agents from across the globe. Advice for that you have for anyone wanting to be a mega agent, what do they need to do?
Is work every day.
Every day, show up and work.
I think that's the biggest thing, is understanding that you have to get out there, you have to meet people, you have to build relationships, and those relationships are what are going to bring your business. And like Barb said, keep your information, know your clients, stay in contact with them, and it's layer by layer. It doesn't happen all in one day. So be patient with yourself and just don't quit. Just keep going.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for scheduling time with me today and to share with everyone who's tuning in to Moments with Omega. So thank you again. I love being in business with you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Gloria. Bye-bye now.
I just did it. I went.